historic Brewton, Alabama. It's drive time with your hosts, DJ and KJ.
Good morning and welcome to Drive Time. Have a good Monday morning. Welcome to each of you in with us first thing this morning. Drive Time, of course, brought to you by Jim Peach Motors and Pete Chevrolet. Good morning, Ray Stewart, Brandon Swain, Matt Nall. Good morning, Matthew, Rebecca Wetfield, David Maddox. I'll, of course, be monitoring the comments on the Drive Time page. Ken will have the comments on his personal page. So good morning to everyone. Good morning, Ken. Glad to be back with you.
Good morning, DJ. Yeah, I know you missed out on a great, well, I say missed out. I think you got to watch a little of it, but great show on Friday. Glad to have you back. Glad everything went well on for your what you had to take care of Friday morning. So certainly glad to hear that and see that. Good morning, Lisa Finley Hart, Hunter Harp in, Booker, Christina. Good morning, Book. Hot Rod, Rodney Williamson, Paula Thomason in. Good morning, Amanda Henry, John Hart. Orlando Gandy. Good morning, Orlando. John Commander. Good morning.
Good morning, Kathy Tolan. Friday was a great show. I tell you what, the Blade and Adam came in and did a great job in the driver's seat, and it was a lot of fun to kind of be on the other side of it and follow the show. And I'm telling you this, I'm not being a homer about it. I would watch the show if I wasn't a part of it regularly. It was good. Joey and Adam both shared some nice stories, and it was entertaining and fun to listen to, and they did a great job. And I'm sure we will probably have them on again sometime in the future.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to. They did a great job. Of course, like we said, I think we could have sat for 2 years and told good old stories about things like that, and always a good time to be able to sit and reminisce about stuff like that. And of course, Blade said, there at the end, which he kind of spoke up a little late. He said he had plenty of stories about Chip, and I said, "But dadgum, I wish you'd have said that a little earlier. We would have explored those a little more."
Good morning, Kathy Tolan. Hunter Harp in on our page as well. Jason Tiepo, Miss Chamberlain. Good morning, Miss C. Good morning once again, Kathy. And, of course, seeing Jason Tiepo in last night. We had talked a little bit a couple of weeks ago about the little travel ball team here, the 12U travel ball team, the Lower Alabama Vipers. They played last night in their first tournament down in Loxley. Finished late, started early, finished late, finished runner-up. Had a big day down there, and of course, by all accounts, the kids played well, got a lot of valuable experiences, and congratulations to Coach Tiepo and the L.A. Vipers for a big day down in Loxley. Look forward to following them throughout the rest of the spring and summer.
Congratulations. That's right. Good morning, Breanne Bryant, Brooke Young, Rhett Joyner. Good morning, Retro. There's the Blade. He's in this morning. Zang. Good morning, Philip Zangus. Cheyenne Robinson. Good morning, Cheyenne.
If I read it right, John Wesley Sessions, who is the son of Robin and Wes. We had Wes on Batter Up, the head coach there at Flompton, of course, hit his first home run. So a big shout-out to John Wesley hitting his first round tripper. And I'm going to tell you something. That kid is, I don't know if you've seen John Wesley. He's full grown. He's gonna hit a bunch of them.
I remember up there Batter Up the other night.
Yeah, but you're only going to hit that first one time, and big day for him. And congratulations, John Wesley, for hitting the round tripper down in Loxley, Alabama.
Yeah, he sure did. Tracy Miller, good morning to you. That's right. Happy Monday. Happy birthday to Rusty Miller.
There he is. That's right. Turning leaf. Happy birthday, Rusty.
Good morning.
Get those tide times out to you as quick as you can.
Let's see if we can find that here. Good morning.
Happy birthday.
All right, say good morning. Happy birthday, Rusty. Yeah. So, talking about full grown and that kind of thing. My nephew had a big weekend.
Man, Townsend. Doing it up in Gulfport, Mississippi, the Mighty Miss.
Good Lord.
If I read it right, first travel ball tournament that he's played in, he's playing with Phil Hyatt. Phil Hyatt's there in this side of Pensacola. He played for Floyd Adams here at JD.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah, he sure did.
Coach Adams.
Played for Floyd back in the day.
That's been a while then.
Went on and played, I think, at Louisiana Tech. Then, of course, was in the Bigs for 10 or 12 years, I believe. But
right.
He has a heck of a program down there with the West Florida baseball outfit. Stokes goes there and works out with him some, but was really excited to see Townsend get off to such a great start, and of course he gets a lot of it honestly.
Well, he does. Yeah, I know. I was telling you a little bit. Whitney was kind of keeping us up to date with what was going on.
And Brent wasn't bad either. I was referring to Whitney.
Right.
Whitney's a talent.
Sure. Whitney was sending us the kind of updates of what was going on, how it was happening, and we the first one we got was Towns is first up to bat, he struck out. And I text back to him. I said, I have a feeling he's probably going to do better. So, don't. I'm sure that was probably nerves. And, I guess he did because he ended up being the MVP of the tournament. But, it's one of those things where I don't know if talent it's got to be passed down. I mean, you would think it is. I mean, I know one thing: if he picks up any of it from his dad at all, he's going to be in pretty good shape.
I tell you, so many people good enough to post pictures from the baseball action. Melissa McMillan had a couple of pictures on there. Rebecca Whitfield had some pictures. Whitney, of course, had hers. And I think my favorite pictures of all are showing them crashed in the vehicles on the way after you've played for 12, 14 hours, whatever. I mean, worn out. And I remember that sleeping well. That's some of the best sleeping you'll ever do in your life. Get in the back seat of a car and just go dead out.
Yeah, they just completely wore out. And, the funny thing about that, like you were talking about, I remember those, what you see kids go out there and just give it their all weekend. And then, they got to get up Monday morning and go back to school. And that's a tough high to come off of being wound up all weekend. And then you got to tone it back down for school Monday morning. I don't know how they do it.
Now in lieu of trophies, it seems they get the kids who win get rings now, which I think is pretty cool. And, of course, all these kids flashing their little championship rings or whatnot. I wonder if they wear them to school. I would certainly have mine.
Would you?
I'd have mine on.
I can tell you right now.
You better believe it.
It's kind of like my brother said about that Chris Davis Jr. outfit.
Yeah, oh, sure.
If he ever gets hold of the jersey and everything, he said he's going to put it all on and wear it around for 3 days. He's subject to wear it to court.
Good morning, JP. That would be something.
Could you see that?
That would be something.
I wonder what a judge would do if he walked in, especially if the judge was an Alabama fan. Things probably wouldn't go his way. He probably
wouldn't say War Eagle. No. I wouldn't think. Now, if he did say that, you'd like your chances of maybe getting out there with a win.
I'd feel pretty good about that.
That would work. But, good morning, JP. Viking Strong. Miss Mitchell in as well. Logan Williamson, Jessica Langford. Good morning to each of you. Speaking of other accolades going on throughout the weekend, Tyler Joyner had another big day against Lee. Complete game victory, beating them 3-0. JoJo Booker did great out at Texas Tech. South Alabama struggled as a team. JoJo got in for 2 in the third, had a couple of strikeouts, no earned runs. So you're going to see his role probably starting to expand a little bit. Hunter got to play as well.
Sure.
So Hunter's role starting to expand also. So it's exciting to see those kids getting their opportunities there at South. And the future's bright for all of them.
It is. Christina said they sure miss those travel ball days, and they go by way too fast. And I'll tell you what, they certainly do. And I say that because I watched Townsend do it, and the last, I say travel ball, but playing ball when he started, T-ball, what have you. And man, it seems like it was just yesterday. But Susan Rhodes said she would pay to see Josh going to court wearing that. I would pay to see that too, Susan. I can't lie to you. That would be a something of note, and certainly that I'll tell you. I don't know if I've told you this or not, DJ, but we're working on we're going to have us a monitor, a big monitor put up right here between us, where we can run some videos.
So we could play some Toughest Tiger videos or something, possibly.
That whatever, or some of these kids' highlights from the weekend or from the night before, or what have you. But we're working on that. So we're trying to catch up with technology. We realize we're a bit behind, and we're doing all we can to try to make all that happen. But so certainly would like to do that. We'd love to be able to put some highlights up. Of course, JoJo and Hunter and Tyler. I'll tell you what, Tyler Joyner's just a force to be reckoned with. Is he not?
He's one of the best pitchers in the country. He's first-team All-American last year, Conference Pitcher of the Year. He's picking up right where he left off. He's amazing. And I can tell you this, and it sounds generic, and I mean this. I've had a lot of time with this kid. He was on my team for several years. He is a better person than he is a player, and he's one of the best players in the country. But he's phenomenal.
Well, I can tell you, his parents are two fine people.
You better believe it, especially Misty.
I'm going to tell you, I've known Misty Beasley and Misty Joyner. I apologize. There again, it's one of those things. Good morning, Happy. Charles in with us this morning. I've known Misty since we were all kids. Of course, her parents, Peanut and Linda. And I'm gonna tell you something, and of course Richie, and just good people. I mean, good.
Well, let me
good
tell you,
people.
I got a quick Misty story.
I wonder if Tyler can sing as good as Misty.
I don't know, but Paige can.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah,
Yes,
Paige certainly can. But I'm going to tell a real quick
Happy
Misty
says
story.
he's in Good Morning from Denver this morning. DJ.
All right. Good morning, Miss Carol. Good morning, Steve Layton. Good morning, Tammy Perry. Howard and I coached Summer League baseball together for years. Some of the best days of my life working with Howard. He's a good friend of mine. And he, like many dads, was really hard on Tyler. This was when Tyler's 13, first year in Babe Ruth. We didn't have a great team. Tyler was certainly our best player. And Howard would oftentimes, and I've done the same with Stokes, when he was frustrated with the team, he would take it out on Tyler. And, of course, I kind of understood that dynamic a little bit. And every now and again, I'd say, just back off a little bit or whatnot. But, Tyler took it. He was a big boy. Well, anyway, we were at Johnson Park one night, and Misty, for those that know Misty, she is the kindest, sweetest person in this world.
Yes, she
soft-spoken.
is.
I mean, she just never doesn't. She always has a smile on her face, just the salt of the earth. Well, anyway, we were about the fifth inning, and we were having a rough go of it. And Howard was coming down on Tyler a little bit, and he was coming down on him in particular pretty hard this one inning. And I saw Misty get up out of her lawn chair. She was sitting right there on the fence, and she came walking towards the dugout. We were in the first base dugout at Johnson Park. And I walked by Howard as fast as I could, and I said, "Here she comes." And I just kept on going. I ended up down the right field line. If Misty put her nose on that fence, you couldn't hear a word that she was saying, but you could tell the point was being delivered. And from that point forward, the dynamic was a little different between Coach Joyner and Tyler. Yeah.
Well, sometimes mom's got to step in. And good morning, Tom James and Randy Joyner, Steve Layton in on this side as well, William and Jimmy Lee Carroll.
There they are.
Good morning time to you.
Good morning, Cindy Fleming.
Cammie Frazier Morley. Good morning,
Cammie.
And Dirty Mexican Bo Newton.
There he is. Coach.
What's going on, Bo? All right, let me a little phone call to make here, DJ. If you'll indulge me here for just a second.
I will. I'll tell you why you're getting that set up, and you talk about how beautiful this weekend was and all the ball being played. The marquee game had to be W.S. Neal and J.U. Blackshear. Of course, we had both those teams on batter up. W.S. Neal beat J.U. Blackshear 1-0 in 8 innings. Great game. Two great teams. They're going to do well.
Wow.
Hey, man.
Good morning, Coach Boyd.
How are you?
Doing well. Got you on with DJ and myself this morning here on Drive Time. What's going on down in the Spanish Fort area?
What's up, guys?
What's up, Coach?
We are doing okay, man. We're rocking and rolling. I think everybody's a little tired, dragging a little bit today. We just got back from Jackson, Mississippi, where we played in a tournament up there and played against some very notable teams like Northwest Rankin and Madison Central and some of those guys. So testing our guys early this year. I think we got a pretty good squad. We're going to see what they're made of.
Coach, I want to hear a lot more about the Toros in just a minute. How about Townsend? Townsend playing in his first travel ball tournament, picking up the hardware, picking up the MVP. I tell you what, that had to make you awfully proud to see him go out and have such a big weekend.
Well, as a dad, I'm very proud, and I'm. What made me more excited about anything was that I had the opportunity to be there, and
awesome.
I got to see him. I got to see him play, and I normally don't because I'm out of town. And so, anyway, we got home at like 1:00 in the morning on Saturday night, and I had to get up at 7:00, and that was terrible. But it was well worth it when I got to the park because he lit it up, man. He has fun playing the game, and it's fun watching kids that have fun playing the game.
What positions Townsend play, Coach?
He played shortstop. He played shortstop all weekend, and man, he even surprised old Dad with some of those plays. He's done a really good job. He was a third baseman and second baseman, but third shortstop I thought was a stretch just because he's not tall and lanky, and he doesn't. He moves like a catcher. He moves like his dad. So he made some plays, and I was real impressed with that.
What age division is this, Coach?
It's 7U. So
7U, okay,
playing, yeah. He's still playing up a year, and I like it that way. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the idea of playing kids up, but if a kid's capable of playing up and challenging him here, challenging him
sure,
and having with that athletic ability, I'm all for it. I did it. I played 2 years up just because my parents thought that I needed to get pushed, and so. I feel the same way, and if the kid can do it, it's up to the parent, and we do it with Townsend because I think that's necessary.
For those of you listening in, we have Coach Brent Boyd in on the line with us. He, of course, the head coach down at Spanish Fort, an all-SEC baseball player at Alabama, still in the book. You can look it up. His name's in the record book for several offensive categories. And, Coach, you were good enough to join us this morning. We certainly appreciate that. And I want to say this because I want to go back to last year. Of course, T.R. Miller had a great baseball team last year, and we're trying to get a game fell through or whatnot. I think Ken might have reached out to you on a Tuesday, maybe even a Wednesday, trying to set up a game on a Thursday. And somehow, some way, you were able to work it out, got to come up. It was a magical night at Miller Cruz. We were fortunate the game went our way. But to have Spanish Fort on our field and have our kids see what a championship program is about, that's how you build a program, in my opinion. You know, get out there and you mix it up with the best. And you guys actually, you know, y'all set the bar in Alabama high school baseball as far as I'm concerned. The way you go about it, you do it the right way. You got good kids, good fans that follow you. And it was just a pleasure to be able to compete with Spanish Fort. And we're certainly looking forward to going back down and playing on April 7th. Hope that you will take it maybe a little more easy on us since Booker's now down at South Alabama doing big things. It won't be quite the same lineup, but we are certainly looking forward to coming down to your place and competing again.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and that's that means a lot. We put a lot into this program. Our community puts a lot into this program. It's not just the coaching staff thing. It's the kids. It's the community. It's you know, from the real estate agents to the you know, to the doctors and everybody that helps support this program. It goes a long ways to trying to you know, to try and get what, you know, things that we need to be successful, and it's been that way for a long time. And I am very thankful for where I am. I'm very thankful for you guys hosting, you know, and hosting us that night. And, you know, we got to see some good baseball. I got to see a good arm who's now playing at South. And, you know, those kind of things like that. I love good baseball. I love being a part of good baseball. And, you know, every now and then you run into a good night where you have some super talented kids on the field, and you get to watch some good baseball. And that night was one of those nights. And like you said, you guys came out on top, which was no shock to me. He threw a heck of a game, and you know, we were dragging, and we didn't play well. And I knew going in that we had to play well for you guys for us to be able to beat you guys. So I was not surprised at all, and I'm excited about what Kevin's done. And I'm excited about you guys coming down and us being able to extend our hospitality.
I know this. I'm excited about going down there and doing that game, or you know, just
gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a big time, and certainly I can't wait to take over. Brent doesn't know this yet, but I can't wait to take over the Toros Facebook page because that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that over and we're going to be the super station, WBOSS. How about that?
Come on. Hey, Ken, that's fine, man. I don't run that thing anyway. So if that's something you want to do, brother, you just take it over. You're not going to get there. I'm not going to fight you on that one. We got a great group. You know, a home field advantage is something at Spanish Fort. We just very rarely lose at home. And, you know, that's just one of those things where, you know, I love people coming into Spanish Fort and leaving and feeling like they've been a part at something special. It's got an old park feel. You know, you got a lot of tailgating going on. You got an awesome student section. And you just have, you know, you have a great environment for baseball because they do love the baseball here. So I'm just excited for you guys to be a part of it.
Coach, let's talk about a couple of your players specifically, and I apologize. I don't have a roster in front of me and can't call them by name, but I'll never forget them. Your first baseman last year hit a ball at our park there at Miller Cruz. I've never seen one land where that ball that night landed. Talk a little bit about him. Give us his name, what his outlook is. I know he's going to continue to play at the next level if he's not drafted. And then, of course, your outstanding shortstop. He was just one heck of a baseball player. He actually threw my son out at home plate from it would seem like deep center field, but he was two of the really outstanding players that stood out to me. Talk a little bit about them and spotlight them for a minute, if you would, Coach.
Absolutely. You know, the first baseman is Vaughn Siebert, and Vaughn is he's a big old kid. He's a big old teddy bear. He will work, and I'll tell you, he hadn't found his stroke yet this year. He's struggling a little bit right now, but I think it's very good for Vaughn to struggle early. He struggled last year early and then found a swing and couldn't get out. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Vaughn does for the rest of the year because he's going to outwork everybody. Same with Tyler for that matter, but he's going to outwork everybody to make sure and ensure that his future, his future swings are better than his last. He's one of those kids. He's a draft pick, certainly, and a Division I prospect. Could decide to go junior college just to get him to the big leagues earlier, or could possibly go Division I, depending on if it's not. He's one of these kids that really has a lot of opportunities sitting in front of him right now, and he tries to be humble, but he's got some decisions to make in the future, and certainly he and his dad and his uncle and myself sit down, a little, every time another opportunity comes up and gets him to, kind of scratch some things off or add some things. So anyway, he's got a lot of decisions to make, and I'm looking forward to him to start hitting his stride. He'll probably hit that stride by the time you guys come in town.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah,
I'm sure he will.
He had hit it last year. I can tell you that. What did you say? It's one of the longest home
runs.
It's
the deepest one I've seen to right field.
I mean, that's the deepest one I've seen. He crushed that.
And I'm gonna tell you, Ken, his BP's like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I have to tell him to stay away and keep hitting the ball opposite field and keep doing your drills and all that stuff, because if I turn my back, it just turns into, just 5 or 6 home runs in a row. And now, you can create some bad habits that way, but it is impressive to watch. And I mean, he just has that body where if he gets to contact, kind of like he did with JoJo, I mean, if he just gets to contact, it's going a lot farther than most baseballs. And I was a power hitter when I was coming up, and I was one of those guys that I had to swing very hard and had to get all of it. And then it went a long ways. This guy doesn't have to do that.
Right.
He just gets to contact, and this ball it jumps off like a golf ball. And so he's got a lot of upside, and that's what the scouts are seeing in him. And so I'm excited to see where he ends up. Now, Tyler Miller is another kid. He's just a grinder. He doesn't have those big tools like Vaughn. He has a great arm, but he hits from the left side. He had a lot of opportunities to go to play college baseball, a lot of opportunities. He actually ended up deciding to go junior college just to be able to improve. He's one of those guys that needs, like, his body, he's not quite as mature as Vaughn. He's still got strength to build. He's still kind of skinny. So he's got some work to do in the weight room. And so I think he'll be a heck of a baseball player by the end of his junior college years. And he already is a heck of a baseball player.
Yes, he's a good one.
He's one of the team leaders, and he's actually just now starting to hit his stride. So, we take a little bit of time to get going, but it's not because we played weak teams or anything like that. We're 3-3 right now, and we've played some of the best competition that we've played. Probably, this is one of the hardest schedules I've ever scheduled since I've been here. So these guys have done a good job so far. But we played Fairhope tonight. Just came back from a grueling road trip in Jackson, so I'm excited to see what these guys do in this opportunity that's in front of them tonight.
Coach, a lot of times when you're putting your schedule together, a coach will kind of load that thing up, especially front heavy, because he knows he's sitting on a pretty special baseball team and wants to build up some of that scar tissue. You like what you said of the Toros, I take it.
Yeah, there's teams, each year presents a different criteria. Some teams you can beat up pretty bad and they can learn from it and move on, and they can say, ultimately say, guys, we faced the best, and this is the best. And then they're okay with that. Other teams you have to be a little more sensitive with, because they not necessarily are weak-minded, but they'll take it to heart and think that they're no good.
Sure.
So you've got different ideas for different teams. And this team, I thought immediately coming back from last year was one of those that I said, I'm throwing them to the gauntlet. We're going to see what they're made of real quick. And if they don't win these games, at least they'll learn how to win. And they've done a very good job with that. It's been actually really impressive watching these kids come back. They came back. They played Madison Central, who's won a handful of state championships in Mississippi themselves. they came back and beat them in the bottom of the 7th at their place with a absolute rowdy crowd, and that was a lot of fun. So we know how to win now, and they're coming back and doing some things that I think need to happen in the preseason. So they're doing exactly they're on course. Even though we're 3-3, it's not offensive. It's not this or that. It's not 10-0 like some of our local teams here because they've played nobody.
Right.
The 3-3 to me with this schedule is more impressive than that.
I like your style, Coach.
Well,
yeah, we're gonna see. Some people do, some don't.
Well, it's kind of like this, Brent. Those blue maps kind of prove that style works, don't they?
Yeah, you're right, and that's something that I go back to. In 2012 we did that very same thing. We went and traveled to Hoover and played a bunch of those teams up there. And at 14 we went to Florence up in North Alabama and got the crap kicked out of us. And so it has no bearing on the ultimate end result, other than the fact that you're battle tested and you know what works and doesn't work. And so far we found that out. You found out who can throw in a meaningful game early.
Sure.
And then you found out who can be clutch and get the job done or not, early and often. And the thing is now I get to say, okay, somebody else has an opportunity, because this guy's obviously not getting it done. And with that said, that we had 22 guys on the team total this year, and so then try to get all 22 an opportunity in a big time situation to see if they can get it done.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on this, and of course I know you've only gotten to see the young man one time live, but we have a pretty acclaimed player, Andrew Williamson. He plays first base and center field for us. Of course, He is signed to the University of Alabama. What were your thoughts and impressions on him last year, watching him in the game?
I'm looking forward. He's coming back this year. Am I right?
Yes, he's a senior this year. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's senior this year. My thoughts are that, in my opinion, I'm excited to see Andrew take over the team. I thought he was overshadowed by two of the leaders that were there last year, and which is fine. In my opinion, it's fine because you have your senior leaders, you have your guys, you have your dogs, your bulldogs. I'm excited to see what he does with his team, and his group of boys, and how he performs when he's got to. JoJo and those guys, when they had to do it, they did it for the most part, at least that night. And we're going to see what Andrew's got this year, because he's going to have to be the dog now. And if he's a real bulldog, and he's going to carry that team, which means he's going to have the approach to I've got to do it. And it's a different approach when you go into a game going, guys, I've got to go 2 for 4 or 3 for 4 for us to even have a chance to win this ball game.
Right.
As opposed to being a supporting cast member. So when they come up with that, and these guys start realizing that everybody has to go through that eventually. If you're going to be a big name guy like Andrew wants to be, and he wants to go to the University of Alabama eventually, or Auburn or Mississippi State or any of these local schools, you're going to have to be the guy eventually. And, that's just one of the first steps to becoming a really good baseball player. So I'm excited to see what he's all about.
Very good. Appreciate that, Coach.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking your time. I know you're a busy guy. I know you're getting ready for a game tonight. And certainly wanted to say, again, I was so proud and happy to see Townsend have a big weekend and MVP. And when Whitney sent us the first up to bat and said he struck out, I text back and said, I got a feeling he's going to do better next time. And he obviously did.
I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. That was one of the situations for me coming home last night. We had practice last night at 7, and for the first time, I called the coaching staff and I said, I'll be there when I get there. I'm spending some time with them. So
good for you, Coach.
I was very excited for him, very proud of him, and Ken will tell you I don't get proud very easily.
No,
and he's got to do a lot of impressive things, and I was impressed with my own son that day, so I was happy. But
I will say this, Coach, DJ is one of those guys that is you and DJ have a lot in common as far as being probably more critical of your son's playing than probably at times you should be, but that's just the way it goes, and I mean that's how it works. So Well,
and and here's the deal, and I know I've talked to both of you guys about this before. I know how much it takes and how hard this game is, and I know what it does to your body, and I know what it does to you mentally, I know what it does to your family while you're going through all this, and I always said that it would not hurt my feelings one bit if Townsend told me one day that, he didn't want to play baseball. And I kept waiting for that daggum day, but every day I go to bed, every morning, every night I go to bed, I come into his room and he's falling asleep watching the MLB Network. So that day ain't coming anytime soon.
No, it's not. Well, Coach, good luck tonight. And I appreciate you taking your time. And certainly we're going to catch up with you next couple of weeks. And then looking forward to seeing you on April the 7th.
Yeah. Guys, listen, I'm excited about that game. And I got, we got another game later on down the line there in the same day. But if you guys need anything at all, just let me know. We have our press box where you guys are going to be, I think, for the game. And then anything you guys need to help your chance, your travel and all of that stuff, just let me know because we're excited about having you guys.
We'll certainly do it. Coach, appreciate your time again, and good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
See you, Coach. I love Brent Boyd. I love him. I certainly don't know him near as well as you do, but I'm going to tell you last year, and I may be hitting on this a little too much and a little too hard, but it just impressed me so much. Last year to take his team on the road with about 24 hours notice, coming into a situation where really there is no win for you because you're playing a school at a smaller classification.
Sure.
No preparation, no scouting report, anything that said, yeah, hey, we'll do it. They got some good ball players up there, got a good team. We'll come do it. I don't know. That just really, really impressed me, and I'm going to remember that for a long time.
Well, good morning, Sarju Patel, Trent Davidson, Jason Holly-Wyatt, Donna Massel. Good morning, Donna.
I think Trent Davidson actually did the game with us last year, the Spanish Fort game.
He certainly did.
When we got it booked, he immediately came and said, I'm 3.5 hours away. I want to come watch that baseball game. I said, we'll do you one better. You can call it.
That's right. He did. Good morning, Rachel Capper. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Brent's first class.
Out there.
First class.
Yeah, and the thing about him that I think then you just kind of touched on it, and he touched on it. He's one of those guys that's kind of old school that believes in let's go play the biggest and the baddest because you can't get better.
Let's mix it up.
If you don't,
I'm telling you, and I'm saying this from the T.R. Miller standpoint, and I said it then, whether we won the game or not was irrelevant. Getting on the field with a team like Spanish Fort makes you a better program. I mean, if that's what you aspire to be, if you want to see how champions conduct themselves, I mean, I went as far as to watch them walk off the bus. I mean, they do that. They do that the right way. There's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And I think anytime you get the opportunity to get on the field to compete with a program like that, Spanish Fort, you're just better for it.
Trent said it was a blast, such a class act, two amazing teams, and there's no doubt there was.
It was electric at the Cruise that night.
Man, I tell you,
it was electric.
I was just about to say that's one of those nights that kind of reminded me of a 1980s, 90s Miller football game.
Same kind of juice in the stadium for sure.
I mean, it was, and I think you said it's probably the biggest crowd that's ever been at the Cruise.
It's the biggest one that's been there, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, and they saw a good one.
Greg and Cindy Fleming live 500 yards from the school and have their entire adult lives, and that was the first game they had been to, if I remember correctly. And just because all the hoopla surrounded around that game, and we had all of about 24 hours to promote it.
Wow, Chris, yeah, right, and that's a fact. Christina said that JoJo was asked by someone what the best part of his senior year was, and he said the Spanish Fort game.
No question.
So it was a great game.
It was unbelievable. And we were just fortunate it went our way. Had it not, it would not have taken away from the night. It was a magical night at Miller Cruise, and I know everybody here certainly enjoyed it. Good morning, Wheezy Joyner, Wheezy in with us, Sherry Weaver, Carol Ellington. Good morning, Holly Shirley, Nick Etheridge, Philip Zangus, Jesse Rigby, Jay Wheels in the house, and Melinda Turner. Good morning to each and every one of you. Jeff Wilson also.
Jason Moore and Debo. We can't never get Debo to comment to us. We'll have to get Debo to call in one day and talk to us that big old deep voice.
Jay Wheel, it went T.R. Miller's way last year. Of course, we will be traveling back down to Spanish Fort on April 7th. We're going to carry that game here on Bossman Productions, and I look forward to doing that. And Spanish Fort has one heck of a baseball team this year. T.R. Miller trying to find their way just a little bit, dealing with some injuries, breaking in some younger players. But come April 7th, we will be down at Spanish Fort, getting it on with the Toros.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that. Nelly Rock, good morning, Steve, in the house. And I love that the Blade on Friday told the story how Nelly gave himself the Rock nickname. Of course, Nelly said that was Molly that gave him that name, and Blade said, "Okay, I'll go with it." But off the air, Blade said that Nelly actually really gave himself that name.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just telling what he said.
I've never known Blade to be a liar.
So, hey, I don't know. That's just what he said. So, good morning, Willie Blue, Reverend Blue, in this morning.
Good morning, Reverend Blue.
Good to see you.
Daniel Smith has a good question. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel Smith wanted to know how the Hillcrest boys did in basketball this past weekend, the state championship game. They lost in overtime, 78-75 to Plainview. I listened to a lot of it on the radio. Just an incredible basketball game. Kobe Bradley, who is one of the outstanding seniors on Hillcrest basketball team. I know Kobe well from down through the years competing with and against him. He had 44 points in a losing effort.
Wow.
Of course, just the season that Hillcrest has had this year, of course, winning the state championship in football, losing just a heartbreaking game there in the finals in basketball. But they certainly nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
Lost on a last-second three-pointer.
Wow.
Last second.
Last
28 feet, guy knocks it down, ball game. But I hated it for Hillcrest, but they had a great season, and certainly proud of all them.
Nelson said Blade lied, and JT said, well, he sure promoted it. So, good morning, Sheila Bondurant. Yeah, that is a heartbreaker to lose on a last-minute shot like that. What else went on over the weekend? I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of most of it.
It was a beautiful day, of course.
Beautiful weekend.
I follow ball as much as I can on Saturdays. And, of course, I just mentioned J.U. Blacksher and W.S. Neal got caught up in an 8-inning classic. W.S. Neal winning that game 1-0. So Coach Campbell and the Blue Eagles still undefeated on the season. Of course, Coach Mixon and J.U. Blacksher, they are a juggernaut. They will be tough to deal with in classification.
We need to check with him one day this week and see if we can't get him on the phone in the morning.
Coy?
No, wait,
or
both,
Mixon?
both.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, we'll do that.
Get Coach Campbell on one morning and maybe Coach Mixon on another. I was impressed with those guys at Batter Up.
Oh yeah.
I've never had a chance to be around guys from J.U. Blacksher, coaching or any other. So I was impressed. They were seemed like a class act.
And this is a special group, which Coach Mixon does a great job with that program each and every year. But this year he has that magical group of seniors. Tanner Weaver, of course, we had him here at night. Tanner Weaver, right. Cooper Dean, Dylan Baldwin, just real good kids, good players. Miller had a tough time over at Andalusia this weekend, dropping 2. Our lady softball team, I think, hosted their invitational here this weekend, went 1-4. 1-1, lost 4. I think all 4 games were very competitive, 1-run ball games. So the Lady Tigers come on the short end of the stick there. Don't have any reports from Nillard or Flomaton. Would certainly like to pass those along as we get them and share them.
I know we need to mention this too. We we done of course the boys baseball show. We are still working on getting the girls softball show together. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that, and look forward to having the young ladies on. I'm gonna tell you something. You talk about competitive, and you called a few last year. Softball games, and those girls are competitive.
Oh yeah,
and I love the of course I go back to the Coach Riggs blog that he wrote about coaching the girls softball team, and the things that come along with that, and I guess the trials and the tribulations and the all that with it, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think that'd be a lot of fun, for sure. But
our friend Eli Cook at Monroe Academy had a big win this weekend. They beat Morgan Academy 17-7.
That's another one we need to get on the phone.
We can get him on. He'll do it.
Coach Cook, he's doing big things over there.
Yes, he is. Of course, they won the state championship in football. Also,
I was about to say they did.
Private school division, so they've had a great athletic year as well to this point.
Does he coach football with them as well?
He's one of the assistant coaches on the varsity football team.
Is he?
And of course, the head coach there in baseball teaches history there at Monroe Academy. But they're blessed to have Eli. I know him personally, and he those kids are better people having him up there. There he is,
Chief Brazil. Look at him. He's dancing through the showroom.
Okay, got to appreciate this from Judy. There's a double header today over at WS Neal, the WS Neal JV team hosting the Miller JV team. So the Battle of Murder Creek, the JV version, taking place there at Blue Eagle Field. So get over there and catch that, spend some money at that concession stand, and watch some good baseball.
You know, I'm sorry, Judy. I saw that up there and got hung up on that call and forgot to mention that. Good morning, Lee Graves, Nager. Jay Will in on this side. And, so I'll tell you what, we lot of sports action going on right now.
Every day but Wednesday from here on out till graduation, when you get off work, go to one of these ballparks, you're going to find a game of some
going
sort.
on.
There'll be a game. So look for the lights.
Are the mosquitoes still as big as they used to be over there at in the Horton Swamp?
They can be. Joey does a pretty good job of fighting them back as best he can.
Yeah, but does JoJo go over there and spray that place down?
I think so. Yeah, but yeah, Joey keeps them beat back pretty good.
Because I know, listen, I remember a time, and I'm not talking about that ballpark. I'm talking about just Horton Swamp, the camp over there. You couldn't go over there and hunt without taking about 4 gallons of deep woods off.
Yeah. And
by the time you sprayed that stuff down on you, the chances of you seeing a deer were like negative.
That's right.
You know, you'd see mosquitoes big as, blackbirds.
Speaking of hunting, turkey season set to open up, the 15th, isn't it? I'm not a turkey hunter.
Well, I'm not either. But
I have a turkey story that I'm going to save for opening day.
I think that's right.
But I think the 15th is when that normally.
You know, we talked about. I don't know. I can't remember who I was talking about this with, but we talked about. I'm going to get Coach Salter from Neal High School,
Dewan, yeah,
Dewan, to come over one morning. I don't know if you know this. You know, his brother Eddie Salter is a world champion turkey caller.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but good morning, Margaret Cotton, Jeff Booker in as well. I don't know if you know this, but Dewan is actually a better turkey caller than Eddie is.
I did not know that.
Oh, yes.
You told me something I did not know.
Oh, yes. And here's the deal. And Dewan's a humble guy, but now Dewan will tell you when it comes to that Eddie better be glad that Dewan didn't show up to any of those championship or any of those calling that he came to, because he wouldn't have made out real well.
I like that. You'll have to get him on.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, now you want to talk about turkey? He can talk about turkey. Doug Ayrton talk about turkey hunting. I mean, Doug's a big turkey hunter, and be a good one to have on. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed Doug over at the Bridge Show that night.
Yeah, Doug's always fun.
Yeah.
Gator.
Yeah.
Judge Gator.
We need to get up with Doug, see about getting him to come in and sit down and get closer to turkey season. He could talk to 2 non-turkey hunters about why you like to go out there and sit down next to rattlesnakes, because that's the only thing I can think about when turkey hunting. Now,
that when those turkey hunters, we need to get them before the season starts, because you don't see them. You won't get them. No. It's every day. It's a 45-day war.
It is.
I mean, those guys go every morning.
It is.
Turkey hunters are just different, man. You know, you want a guy to clam up. Go talk to a turkey hunter. They won't tell you anything. Where a bird's gobbling, where one's roosting.
They won't tell you anything. And not only that, it's like a religion to them.
Yeah, you can get some information out of them during deer season.
Yeah,
but come turkey season, Well,
look at how many people join deer hunting clubs. And they don't really care about deer hunting at all. They join for the
turkey rights. Yeah.
And the only reason, you know, that and they know that 90% of the people in the deer hunting club, they don't turkey hunt.
Right.
So they're like, okay, I got 2,200 acres of land all to myself, you know. So I think there's a lot of that goes on.
Turkey hunters are a little different.
Well, you'd have to, like I said, you'd have to go sit down next to a tree and know that you could be face to face with a 4 or 5 foot rattlesnake at any time.
That's wanting to, yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. That's not my idea of a good time.
I have been turkey hunting, but I am certainly not a turkey hunter.
I've been turkey hunting too, but I'm not a turkey hunter. I'm just saying, I don't know what part of, let's go trampling through the woods and have to wear snake boots because I might get bit. I don't know what part of that. I'm not dogging a turkey hunter. I don't mean that. I'm just saying I'm so, I don't want to mess with a snake. And I'm the world's worst at taking and throwing a snake on, a rubber one on somebody.
Well, the guys who do it, they love it. I mean, it's almost like a cult.
Oh, it is.
They
There's no doubt.
they go every morning.
They certainly do. So Thursday night, the chamber banquet
this Thursday
coming up this Thursday night. I'm thinking that's at 7-ish. If somebody's watching and wants to correct us on that, I believe it's at the Hourglass. I may be wrong about that too, but I think, I think the bullet points we're going to start like actually writing out and printing.
Yeah, I think so. We've kind of gotten to that point.
I think it's got to the point where we're going to
have
come in.
winged it about as long as we can.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to come in with some sort of a bullet point thing to be able to look at, because it's just not happening. We can't remember anything anymore.
Guess who is in with us right now?
Who?
My music appreciation teacher from 9th grade, Miss Virginia Jackson Guerin.
My favorite elementary school teacher.
Morning, Miss
from way
Virginia.
back. Music teacher. One of my favorite teachers of all time was Miss Jackson, but my absolute favorite teacher of all time was Patty Mitchell.
Yeah.
But I love Miss Jackson. I went home and told my mom that I wanted my dad to marry her.
I had her in music appreciation in 9th grade. She's a good Auburn woman. Good morning, Miss Jackson.
War Eagle, Miss Jackson.
Eagle.
Good to see you. Good morning to you.
6 o'clock. We did get it confirmed. 6 o'clock at the Hourglass, the chamber banquet this Thursday.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you, Judy.
And Christina Booker said Wild Game Supper at Appleton Assembly of God on Saturday starts at 4 p.m.
Okay, that'd be
I guarantee you that'd be some good food eating
get out
right
and support
there.
that as well. Yeah. And then they had the Wild Turkey banquet this past Saturday. I rode by there.
I think they did.
Looked like
Yes.
they had a tremendous turnout for that. Yeah, I mean, it was just cars parked everywhere downtown. And of course, you could see the front part of the building. It was a standing room only, it appeared.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know we talked about it last week. That it was this past Saturday night. They always have a good crowd. I was hoping Butch would be in this morning. We could ask Butch about it and see how things went, or Marshall, or one of those guys. But hadn't seen any of them log in this morning. They may still be recuperating.
I have a bad head this morning.
You think?
Could be, maybe.
They may still be. Well, if that's all we got, let's wrap it up.
It's been a good show. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's.
All right. Appreciate all of you for taking out some time in your early Monday morning to spend with us here on Drive Time. It has certainly been fun here being with you. Remember to like and share the video as many times you see fit. And Lord willing, we will see y'all at the family reunion tomorrow morning here on Drive Time. Thank you to Jim Peach Motors and Pete Chevrolet. For Ken James, I'm DJ. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to Drive Time, live from the Peach Pit in historic Bruton, Alabama. Remember to tune in every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m.-ish. Remember to like and share the Drive Time videos, as the more you like and share, the more chances you have to win.